There's our mechanical friend with the assault rifle again. I did spot another robot with a pistol earlier, but lost sight of him a few minutes ago. They're not my only concern though, as there's an anti-personnel turret just outside the hab module there that was not on the original plans. Speaking of the hab module, it's taken quite a beating in the past, and it looks like even the solar panels are pretty badly damaged. It's a wonder how on earth they're getting enough power. Old Bob may have been right though. It looks like the main nuclear reactor is offline, as we're not detecting any heat from its radiators, and there's no movement coming from those 25mm Gatling turrets either. I'm also not seeing any lights or any other signs of life coming from the rest of the moon base. At a distance, the radiators look mostly intact, so I'm not sure why the reactor isn't on, unless maybe the squatters are short on uranium rods and only have it powered up in the case of an emergency. Regardless, I'm heading back to the Sagittarius now. When it mentioned in the briefing that this place may have been occupied, I expected it to be a small group of scavengers, or at the worst a handful of unsavoury types using the place as a temporary base, and certainly not robots armed with bloody machine guns. Unfortunately, this does seem to suggest that the defenders are a lot better equipped than we initially thought. The problem is, robots are notoriously difficult to kill. If I tried to storm that place equipped with just the spacesuit and auto pistol, I wouldn't last 5 seconds. So yeah, I really am beginning to think I've accepted what could turn out to be an impossible mission. Well, that's not quite true. Nothing is impossible. And let's not forget that I do have some new toys to play with that could help me survive. Ben, can you please display the details of the new combat assault suit on this monitor at the back of the Sagittarius' cockpit for me, please?
Affirmative, Captain.
Yeah, there it is. It's not quite as impressive as the armoured exoskeleton I used back on Saburo, but this is a huge improvement over my existing spacesuit. According to the description, this comes equipped with composite plates and ballistic fibre that should help protect me against bullets being fired from most forms of small caliber firearms, which should hopefully give me a fighting chance against those interior turrets and possibly even those robots using pistols or even the assault rifles. Perfect. Right, we should have enough materials, so let's send this to the assembler and try it on. This assault suit is a lot lighter than I expected, so I've managed to haul it over to the locker room here, and so far it seems to fit perfectly. I just have to remember that it won't protect me against armour-piercing rounds or heavy machine gun fire like those 25mm Gatling turrets. Plus, there's still the usual weak points such as the visor, the back of the knees, and just in front of the elbows where the arms bend, so I'll need to be careful. Plus, every time I do get hit, there's a very good chance I'll take a certain degree of damage from the blunt force trauma from the impact, which means I might end up having to come back to use that survival kit. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. Let's check this suit out using that tiny camera on this monitor. Oh yeah, that looks pretty damn good. Now, I actually have seen this armour before on a preview video back at the CDF Academy in Avalon Colony. And if my memory serves me right, they should have already started rolling these out to their frontline personnel. Excellent. Right, it's time to lock and load. I've already got a spare oxygen tank, so hopefully that should keep me going for the next half hour at least. My other concern is my energy reserves, but hopefully I'll find some way of recharging my suit whilst I'm over there, otherwise I'll have to keep coming back to the Sagittarius, which wouldn't exactly be ideal. Speaking of which, I'm surprised no one has tried to hail me or come out to investigate my spacecraft yet. Surely they must have spotted it by now. Right, the coast is clear. I'm going to try and make my way to the hab module via that rover garage to try and avoid that turret I saw earlier. Ugh, a bit of a rough landing. Anyway, according to the plans I got from old Bob, there is another turret inside the rover garage, but if the hab module is the only place that's got power, then hopefully that one won't be operational. Yeah, Captain, famous last words again. Damn it, I'm not seeing any controls. This suggests that it can only be opened from the inside. Oh well, time to make my own way in. Hold on, I think that was one of those robots. It is. Except it looks like it's recharging or downloading something. Right, this could be our best chance to strike. Gotcha. It doesn't look like there's any more, but there is that turret I need to contend with, which I'll grind down and hack into right now. Because if it's mine, then I won't have to worry about it should the power suddenly come back on. There we go. Nice one. Okay, let's see what you've got. That's just a standard semi-automatic pistol. Unfortunately, it uses a different magazine, so it's not much use. Now, this thing definitely isn't on the original plans. It looks like some sort of alcove that's used to build and service those robots. So I'll grind it down now before it starts building another one of those damn things. I also want to clean up after myself a little, just so it's not so obvious that I've broken into this place. That's assuming, of course, that they haven't figured that out already. I may as well check what's in here. Ah, now that's useful. A better grinder, a medical kit, and some power packs. Now, I am painfully aware of that hole in the ceiling. I just hope that none of our mechanical friends use it to sneak in and shoot me in the back. The problem is, if I repair it, it could be spotted and raise the alarm. Benson, I can't help but notice that there's a glitch on my HUD, as whenever I look at anything, it says that I built it, even when it's obvious that I didn't. Is there any way of fixing that?
Negative, Captain. That appears to be a known software issue with the current version of your suit's graphical interface. I am unable to make any changes to it, but I would, however, suggest updating it regularly to see if that resolves the issue.
Damn it, I was afraid you were going to say that. Thanks anyway, Ben. The only problem is, the software is made by the infamous KSH Corporation, and they're not exactly known for fixing their bugs. In fact, they seem to be more likely to add more with every update. Including some old ones that we'd thought they'd fixed. Oh, hang on, this corridor's pressurized.
It looks like we have another visitor. Destroy him, my robots.
What in the hell? Son of a bitch. So much for the element of surprise. It sounds like they already know I'm here. The thing is, I didn't see any cameras, so how on earth did they... Ah, of course. The robots probably all have some sort of short-range radio or Wi-Fi connection to each other, so when I shot that one from earlier, it probably alerted all the others. Damn it. Oh well, there's not much I can do about that now. I'll just have to proceed to the command center as quickly and carefully as I can and deal with anyone, or anything, on the way there. And as long as I rebuild these doors, it should slow down anyone that tries to follow me. Or at least that's the theory. Oh, hold on. I'm feeling vibrations through the floor. Yep, here they come. It looks like these two are unarmed, which probably explains why they were trying to rush me. Unfortunately, they don't appear to have anything useful on them. I will need to be careful though, as this section isn't pressurized, and the problem with being in a vacuum is that you can't really hear anything, and unfortunately, that also includes enemy gunfire. I'll just destroy all of these that I come across. Once everything is safe, I'll let Benson examine them and see what he says, as right now, we can't afford to mess around with something that we just don't understand. Hello? What are those two doing? Ah, damn it! Yeah, take that, you bastard. That one had some kind of built-in projectile launcher. Thankfully, my armour looks like it shrugged off most of those darts. Which is good, I suppose. I mean, that's what it's designed to do.
Inventory full.
I'll dump these spare parts in these containers, just to give me a little bit more space in my inventory. What I have noticed is that whoever has taken over this moon base are obviously not pirates or the Red Brotherhood, as according to my HUD, whenever I damage something here, it's considering it an act of piracy and vandalism on their behalf. Unless, of course, that's just another bug. Why is that open? Ah, you sneaky son of a bitch! Got him! Ah, so much for being careful. Well, it doesn't look like my suit's been ruptured, so the armour certainly did its job, but it is badly dented, warped, and even bulging in some places now. Shit, I need to pay more attention. I can't afford to make careless mistakes like that. But hey, on a more positive note, at least I'm still alive, and what's more, I've managed to grab an even better firearm now. Yeah, there's supposed to be another turret in there, but it's missing. Well, I guess that's where the one that's just outside came from. In fact, whilst I'm here, I'd better equip that new rifle now before I go any further. Right, let's do this. Here's another one of those damn things. There we are. Just to be on the safe side, I really should try and close that airlock, as I'd rather not have any more enemies sneaking up from behind me. Nope, that's the wall, Captain. That's better. Good grief, I'm beginning to think one of those rounds got me in the head, Benson.
Negative, Captain. According to the readings from your suit, almost all the damage appears to have been on-penetrating and sustained on the torso and upper left thigh, and while I am detecting slightly higher than average levels of adrenaline, there is currently no evidence of concussion or any other type of head injury, serious or otherwise.
If I didn't know any better, Benson, I'd swear that almost sounds like you were politely trying to tell me that I've always been this daft.
Yes, Captain. Although, if you are concerned about your ability to concentrate or focus on tasks at an optimal level, then I would advise a more detailed medical analysis when the situation allows, as there may be dietary, stress or sleep pattern issues involved.
Well, thank you very much for that, Dr. Ben. I will certainly take it under advisement. But right now, I think it's for the best if we focus at the task at hand.
As you wish, Captain.
Access denied. Yeah, what a surprise. Okay, let's see if I can get some lights on in here. That's a lot better. Now I just need to find a survival kit or the medical room. At least that way I can try and heal up before I storm the command center, as I fully expect there to be more robots in there. You know what, I'll be glad once I bring this place under control, as I'm getting real tired of having to cut through all these doors just to get anywhere. There we are. I'll just switch it on so I can heal up and also recharge my suit's energy, as it was starting to run a little low. Excellent. Now let's see if I can find anything else useful in here. Ah, brilliant. I'll leave all these spare parts in here, and whilst I don't need any more power, I'll certainly take those medical kits. Right, I don't think I need anything else from in here, which means that it's now time to proceed to operations and secure the command center. Oh great, not only do I have to cut through this sturdy door, but there's probably robots on the other side just waiting to open fire. Oh well, I'd better make every shot count. Or not. That's strange. Well, I better not take any chances. They might just be hiding around the corner. None at all. Oh, this is too easy. I thought there'd be at least one robot guarding this place. Anyway, let's take over this command console. Excellent. Time to use Bob's authorization key to restart everything under CDF and... Oh, wait a minute. This isn't right. Benson, where's all my commands and hotkeys? Everything's blank and it won't let me access anything.
Apologies, Captain. It appears as though this is no longer the main console, and command access has been removed. According to the system files, the main console is now located in the guest quarters, on sub-level 2.
Is that so? Well, I think it's about time we went down there and formally introduced ourselves. And by that I mean at gunpoint. Although I do wonder how many of them actually are down there, as so far I've only seen those humaniform robots. I don't think I've seen a single human being since I arrived. Which does make me a little suspicious. I mean, there was that guy with a strange voice we heard over the PA system, but apart from that there's been nobody else. Unless, of course, there's an entire squad of them hiding down here just waiting to ambush me, in which case things could get very interesting indeed. I won't check each room individually, I'll do that later. If any of these doors open, I'll hear it. All clear so far, but this is only sub-level 1. Oh, that's great. More robots. I count 2 so far, but they're behind barricades. This could be tricky. Gotcha, you mechanical bastards. I have to admit that these ones look a little more advanced than the ones I've seen so far. I wonder if this is because we're getting closer to their hideout. Ah, good guess. Supreme Mechanic A1 Wobot Upwising? You're kidding me. Who the hell actually types with a speech impediment? Must have been text-to-speech, I guess. Alright, you in there. Keep your hands above your head and step away from the door.
You'll never take me away.
Well, I'm guessing that's a no then. Fair enough. Let's do this the hard way.
Prepare to meet your maker.
You first, Elmer Thud.
Avenge me, my robots.
Oh, shut up. Let's see what you have. Thank you. Okay, let's change the ownership of this and transfer the controls back to the command console in operations. First off, Bob's authorization key. Excellent. Ben, can you access this thing to disable any existing robots out there for me, please?
Yes, Captain. All robots disabled.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ben. Now, let's get A1 over there to medical. Good, that's A1 restrained and sedated. I used the medical room to heal him as much as possible, and once I'm happy that he's stabilised, I'll stick him in that cryo chamber in the next room until I can figure out just what the hell to do with him. At the moment, I still have absolutely no idea who he is or what he's doing here, but you can be damned sure that that'll be on the agenda for later on once I've taken stock of the situation. What I do know, however, is that there is nobody else here. Ben performed a quick sweep of the moon base, and apart from 2 more robots that were still out patrolling before they were shut down, there doesn't appear to be anyone else here. So essentially, it was just that lunatic that calls himself A1, and his robot uprising from what I can tell. The good news is that this plant room appears to be pretty well maintained and still has a good amount of oxygen in those tanks and electricity stored in the batteries. The basic assembler and basic refinery are both working perfectly, so that will be a huge help when it comes to getting everything fixed up properly. There have been some patchwork repairs done to the moon base, but they appear to be pretty rudimentary, and I can only assume that they were done by A1 and his robots. In fact, once I've gone to Ops and activated all the Moonbase's systems, I'll take a quick look around to see what the rest of the base is like. I did briefly check all the other rooms downstairs earlier, and while they're all intact, clean and pressurised, sadly there's nothing else of value down there, and the only one that even looked like it was lived in was A1's command centre, as he called it. As for why he chose that location instead of Ops to govern the Moonbase, well, at this time, that still remains a mystery. Another mystery is how the hell he survived out here for so long. Water and oxygen can be taken from the ice in the lunar regolith, but how the heck did he have enough food to survive? Anyway, that's something I'll investigate later on. Right now, let's bring everything back online. Yep, it's looking good so far. The power's okay, but I'm definitely going to need to repair those solar panels before I start using any of those machines in the plant room to any great extent. Ah, I've just spotted the projector. Benson, can you load the original blueprint given to us by Mr. Dobson onto the Moonbase's projector there and overlay it over the current structure for me, please?
Yes, Captain. Blueprint loaded and projector settings adjusted to fit over the existing structure.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. I'm just testing it out now. Nice one. It worked. It's hard to tell from this 3D holographic view, but it looks like that the habitation module isn't too badly damaged, but most of the work looks like it'll be on the connecting tunnels and the resource and production module. That'll be our top priority once we've got those solar panels back up, as we'll need the more advanced components to fix everything else and get this place up to scratch. But that's for later on. Right now I need to conduct a very brief inspection of the rest of the habitation module. That'll give me a rough idea as to what state this place is in, as well as a chance to see if there's anything else here that might be of use to us. As expected, this looks like a typical dormitory. I've seen these modular designs everywhere, including on Terra Nova, although these ones are more common on planets or moons with little to no atmosphere. These are usually meant for high-capacity, short-term use, with the better living quarters being underground, where there's less danger from radiation, etc. Yep, this one is more or less the same as the other, except mirrored. Chances are one was for the males and the other was for female personnel. But I could be wrong, it may have been mixed. I keep getting caught out by the fact that most of the lights in this place are the older style ones that need to be switched off and on manually, instead of the automatic ones that use motion or thermal sensors. Okay, let's head on to the first floor. This is where the canteen, a bar, and some of the offices can be found, as well as the public toilets, it would seem. These kitchens are used to service the canteen area just beyond. I've not checked to see if everything works yet, but that might be a moot point as, according to the logs, all those drinks are out of date and those cabinets are empty. And this, as the name suggests, is the cold storage room, used to keep everything refrigerated. There's a freezer in here too, but as expected, it's empty. Which is a bit of a conundrum, as in A1's quarters, there were empty food packs on the ground, which were most certainly brand new. Now, this server room is filled with computers that all appear to be in excellent condition and are very well maintained, which doesn't really come as a surprise given A1's aptitude in robotics. This manager's office appears to be in a fairly decent condition, although it isn't pressurised, and I suspect that there's a leak somewhere up in the air ducts above. Well, I guess that explains it. The air ducts are probably connected to this admin office that's got a hole blasted through the side. Ah, no worries. I guess I'll just repair that later on as well. Yeah, it looks like I'll have to replace an entire block there. Ouch. Hydroponics, also known as the place where you keep plants, although I'm not surprised to see that there's none here at all. But hey, at least the grow lights are still working. So if I do eventually get the planters fixed and some seeds in, I can grow some veggies again. Wonderful. Ah, the canteen. Let's see what condition this place is in. You know what? It's actually not too bad. Sure, it's empty and dark, but at least it's pressurised. And the tables and chairs haven't been knocked all over the place. Well, that's a bonus. Okay, now I wasn't expecting that. Both the lights and the video screen are working perfectly. You also get a pretty decent view of the landing pad from here. I wonder if the blast shutters still work. Ah, they do! Excellent! I'm glad about that because those things, yeah, they can be a little expensive to fix. Aha, the bar. I expect this place to be a mess. Or not. This place looks almost pristine. Bloody hell. I mean, has A1 been holding robot dancing competitions in here or something? Then again, saying that, I'd be very surprised if any of this stuff still works. Oh, for crying out loud. I take it back, it works fine. Right, I think that's enough of that. Yeah, let's just leave that alone for the moment. I'm way too sober to enjoy any of this, and besides, I'd rather not lose my hearing this early on in the mission, thank you very much. Yep, same story as the kitchen. Everything here is out of date. Okay, after that little adventure, I think it's time to make my way to the next floor. Apparently there's a workshop, a lounge, and even a gymnasium up here, so that should be interesting. I'm surprised this section's pressurised. Being so near the top of the dome, I'd have thought it would have taken the most damage. Yeah, this workshop is in excellent condition. Again, this may have been due to A1 and his robots. In fact, he may have used this place to build and repair a lot of them to begin with. Aha, the gym. While I don't have time for a workout, it's still worth taking a look inside and see what it's like. Pretty much your standard budget-sized gym, complete with treadmill, pull-up bars, and weights. Hey, there's the Sagittarius, just sitting out there beyond that rise. I'll have to move it closer at some point. This is interesting to see because the original Moonbase didn't have a gravity generator, so the gym used to take up space right at the very top of the dome, and instead of a treadmill, there was a small track set at an angle that used to go around the outer wall. This was done to counter the effect of the low gravity, as people running along it would stick to the floor. The blast shutters outside have taken some damage, but everything else in this lounge looks in excellent condition. There's even plants in here too. As well as access terminals for both the store and contracts. Now this really is a pleasant surprise. Well, that's pretty much all there is to the hab module. What I need to do now is head back down and go out and check the antenna, production module, and finally the nuclear reactor. There is one thing I've been wondering about ever since I took over this place, and that's why did A1 use humaniform, in other words, human-like robots, to defend the Moonbase? I mean, bipedal robots are probably one of the most inefficient designs you could use. He would have been better off using drones, robots with treads, or even multi-limbed battle droids like the Mark 13 instead. Unless, of course, after being here all alone, his mind started to go, and this was maybe his way of coping by creating his own version of other human beings or something. Who knows. Anyway, I'd better go and check to make sure there's no sign of any external damage on that antenna. According to the console and ops, it's working perfectly, but it's best just to make sure, as I really don't want comms failing on me when I need it the most. Yeah, it's looking fine. There's no obvious signs of damage on the antenna dish, and it seems to be moving okay. I'll get Ben to run a more thorough diagnostic on it later on once I'm back in ops. This, however, does not look good. I'm not sure if the refinery took any damage initially, but it has been partially disassembled. Most likely for spare parts, I reckon. The good news is that it's still almost 90% complete, so it shouldn't take too long to fully repair. All these modules appear to be okay, so that's good. Now here's where the real damage has been done. The hydrogen tanks, platform, receiving centre, and a decent amount of the conveyor network appear to have been destroyed. Most likely by missile attack from the looks of it. Thankfully, a lot of these connectors appear to be intact, but there's still going to be a lot of work involved in getting this resource and production module up and running again. Good grief, that's another machine that's been salvaged for parts. For making A1's wobots, I suspect. Anyway, time to check out the nuclear reactor now. Yeah, that's what I thought. Some of the radiator panels have been destroyed. It's only a few from the looks of it, but if the coolant pipes are messed up too, then it means that unless they're repaired, we run the risk of the temperature skyrocketing as soon as I switch the damn thing on. Yep, that's not a good sign. I'd better head downstairs and see what state the reactor itself is in. If it's too badly damaged, it could be quite a challenge getting this base operational in time. I'll need to have my wits about me down here. The sensors are all out and there's no cameras, so unfortunately neither Ben nor I know if there's any nasty surprises in store for us. Ah, another section that's pressurized. Some more batteries, that's handy. Ah, this'll be the reactor control room, which luckily looks like it's escaped any damage. Yep, everything looks fine so far. Again, I'll get Benson to check it out more thoroughly later on. Right now, I want to take a look at the reactor itself. That's better. So far it doesn't look like the reactor room has been breached, which is very good news indeed. Nice one! The reactor itself is fine. It doesn't have any fuel rods inside, but that is to be expected. I'll quickly just check to see if there's any damage. None! Excellent! That will save me an absolute ton of work further down the line. What I am curious to know is if there's any uranium fuel rods stored nearby. Ah, there is, but unfortunately there's not very much at all. Yeah, that'll barely last a day, which means I'll need to find some way of acquiring more at some point, either through trade or by mining for it. Okay, let's start heading back. At some point, I'll also have to repair the landing pad and move the Sagittarius there instead. I'll also repaint it back to the original Wave Rider colours from the old days, and, if I've got the materials, add the original Gatling turrets onto it. Planet hoppers like the Wave Rider class are essentially civilian cargo vessels. They're not meant for combat, but at least this way it should give it a little extra protection should I come up against any drones during my travels to and from the moonbase. Repairing these connecting tunnels and the air vents is more of a secondary objective right now. While it does help to have as much of the moonbase as possible being pressurised, so that I can walk around without a spacesuit, it's not that important, and I'll probably only do that once I've repaired the solar panels, HAB module and landing pad. The resource and production module, however, is going to need a lot of work, so I want to make sure that our basic refinery and assemblers are ready and have enough power to cope with everything first. Yeah, that's much better. Once we've got enough power, I'll probably just leave these lights on all the time. Please ensure that all lunar regolith, commonly known as moondust, is removed prior to proceeding to the habitation dome. Ha, yeah, that is a lot more important than you'd think. Back when I was younger, I had it explained to me the dangers of letting that stuff get into your lungs, as well as into computers and moving machinery. The problem is, it's like sand except it's sharp like glass and does insane amounts of damage over time. Anyway, enough of the history lessons. I need to finish up here and send a coded message via the hyperpulse satellite near Neptune to let CDF Command on Hades know that I've secured Moonbase One. The next phase of my mission is getting this place fully repaired, which unfortunately is going to take an incredible amount of work. But that's okay, because thanks to our sedated friend down in medical, I have a plan. And that plan involves robots.